Hello, how's it going? Welcome back to some more F1 Manager 2022 and another part of our Aston Martin career mode. Today, we are back with Season 3. We're taking on the Canadian Grand Prix at the Circuit de Gilles Villeneuve. It's going to be an absolute cracker. I'm really looking forward to it. Fernando Alonso is on a roll. We had an incredible end to the last race. Pierre Gasly running out of fuel at the line, just managing to tip over it, and 4 drivers finishing within a second. And if you didn't watch it, you will not expect the 4 drivers that it was. It was crazy. It really was a crazy race. I don't know how we won it. We certainly weren't the fastest car around there, but Fernando Alonso won the Grand Prix 0.2 of a second ahead of Max Verstappen. Pierre Gasly finished third. He trickled across the line, and Kevin Magnussen finished in 4th place for Haas. What a performance that weekend for him. The Red Bull of Sergio Perez 3 seconds back in 5th, and then quite a big gap towards the Ferraris and Mercedes, Alpine, AlphaTauri cars, etc. But a really phenomenal Grand Prix, best race of the season yet, but similar result to what we've been seeing so far. And Fernando Alonso has won 6 of the first 8 races. He has been unbelievable so far in his championship defence. I'll get rid of my webcam now and we'll immerse ourselves into the action. But before we do that, actually, I do just want to say a massive thank you for the comments yesterday. You know, I talked a lot about the start, about how quite a few people recently have been complaining about the fact Aston Martin, dominated Season 2, and we're currently doing very, very well in Season 3. And, you know, I did need those comments yesterday, the ones that were saying, look, you're doing exactly the right thing. You researched very heavily in Season 1. Once you met your target, once you look like you were going to win the championship in Season 2, you researched into Season 3. So, you know, I do appreciate it. I know that in my head, but you sort of send yourself insane when you see so many people with negative thoughts. But thank you for all of the positivity yesterday. We are still going daily with this series until the end of at least Series 3, or Season 3, I should say, come the end of this season, and then we'll reevaluate it, and it'll probably go down to something like 4 episodes a week. It won't be too much. It'll be sort of Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Sunday. Is how I've tended to do it in the past with previous games, and then we'll put some other content in there as well. Just to spice it up a little bit, and obviously lots of people over the years, you know, there's 22,500 of you that have clicked subscribe on the channel in the past, and lots of people like different things, and you know, I like different games as well, so it'll be good to mix it up, but still very much enjoying it. I just wanted to say a massive thank you for your comments yesterday. But anyway, we are back today. 161 points for Fernando Alonso. He's 33 ahead of Max Verstappen in second, but Alonso, just unbelievable. 6 wins for him, 2 for Max Verstappen, none for Pierre Gasly or anyone else so far. It has been quite unbelievable. We are 69 points ahead in the Constructors' Championship, and Ferrari in third there on 142. Mercedes about to break 100 as well as Alpine. So, you know, the order, it's very much been we've been the quickest 5 teams in this series. Alpine have been very, very strong, and you know, the bottom 5 there struggling. Although Kevin Magnussen, very good performance last time out. Anyway, let's have a little look at this sort of stuff. Not really much there. I believe I did see a development point for Pierre Gasly, so let's get him signed up. Of course, the news came early this morning that Pierre Gasly will be driving for Alpine next year, which is fantastic for him. I think that's a really good move for both drivers, both driver and the team. Development point for Giampiero Lambiasi. Let's go on feedback for that, because I think feedback is very important. Everything else is absolutely fine. One thing I was thinking, and this is the contract situation of Fernando Alonso. Now, of course, his contract expires at the end of the season. I think we all came into this season thinking this would be Fernando's last year. But he is absolutely smashing it at the top. It would seem harsh to let him go at the end of the season. But I certainly don't want another 2-year contract, because a lot of the drivers are going to be out of contract at the end of next season. And I kind of want to keep ourselves in the running for all of those. If you look at, if we do it by rating, Lewis Hamilton's contract will, of course, expire at the end of next season. Max Verstappen is out of touch for a long, long time. Carlos Sainz is available at the end of this season. That would be an interesting replacement for Fernando. Charles Leclerc also ends at the end of this season, so again, that would be a very good replacement, I think, for Fernando. Sergio Perez at the end of the season as well as Fernando. But then you look at George Russell, he's going to be next year. Bottas, I'm not that bothered about. Ocon at the end of this season, Norris at the end of next season. So my top 3 targets, really, the likes of Hamilton, Russell, Lando Norris, they're looking more towards next year. Pierre Gasly, of course, his contract runs to the end of next year as well. Who else have we got? I mean, I'm not that bothered looking down here at these guys. I don't think they're really in our league anymore. But I suppose looking at Charles Leclerc and Carlos Sainz, those are 2 drivers that we could look at to replace Fernando. Technically, ratings-wise, they are better. And, of course, they're a lot younger, particularly in Charles Leclerc's case. And looking at his performance, you know, it's his adaptability that's a bit of a problem for him. Carlos Sainz, just a brilliant all-round driver, and I think would honestly be a like-for-like replacement of Fernando Alonso, but hasn't really shown that in his season so far. If you look at Charles Leclerc, he has picked up a lot more wins than his teammate so far in his career. 9 race victories as opposed to 3, I believe. No, 2. 2 race wins for Carlos Sainz. Perez, again, he's another one, only 4 race wins, so isn't really capable of pulling it off. 105 for Lewis Hamilton. You know, that's just unbelievable. And it would be amazing if we could get Lewis Hamilton his 8th World Championship. That would be a dream. And teaming him up with Pete Bonington, definitely something I'd like to do. But yeah, just a little initial teaser of how I'm thinking towards next season, really. But I think everything's looking in order. I don't think there's much going on in the next week or so. So let's continue on to the Canadian Grand Prix. And let's see how we get on. I would like to have a look at how we got on last year in there. Oh, it was a 1-2. And it was quite a dominant 1-2 in the end, wasn't it? I don't know if I remember correctly that there was some rain last year, but Daniel Ricciardo finished 6th. Oh, there was a safety car, wasn't there? Yeah, I remember now. And Ricciardo was up in 3rd at some point. Slowly dropped down. Yeah, that's coming back now. But looking forward to it. Hopefully we'll be able to pull off a good performance this weekend. We're going to say both drivers are going to qualify in the top 5. I do think we're going to struggle because last race we did struggle compared to Red Bull in particular, and I do think the other teams are catching us up, if not already caught up. We're going to say 5 races, both drivers finish in the top 5, 2.8 million in the bank if we can do that. So let's get ourselves into the race weekend here in Canada. It's going to be a cracker.
Formula One is back in Montreal. Let's hope it's not going to be Groundhog Day. The local rodents have disrupted more than one race day here in the past. The Canadian Grand Prix is ready to kick off, and the only drama on the tracks we want to see is the best drivers in the world battling it out for a place on that podium. Gilles Villeneuve is a quick, free-flowing circuit in parts, with a stop-start aspect thrown in for good measure around the chicanes and hairpin bends. Medium-speed downforce will play a large part in avoiding the wall of champions and ensuring success at this iconic track. We're about halfway through the season now, and there's still plenty of time for everything to change. All eyes are on the teams and how they tackle the rest of the year. What will happen this weekend? Only time will tell.
Right then. Oh, it's going to be heavy rain on Saturday for qualifying. That could be very, very interesting. That could mix the grid up a little bit. And there's going to be some moderate rain on race day, so it could be quite an exciting weekend. So I'll see you guys at the end of FP3, and we'll get ready for qualifying. Okay, at the end of FP3 then, we are looking pretty quick along with Red Bull. Lewis Hamilton is up there as well. Ferrari seem to be back on form, as do Alpine, and Kevin Magnussen sneaks into the top 10. So it's going to be an incredible qualifying session, I believe. We've got 94 and 98% performance confidence, so really looking forward to seeing what we can do here. This is going to be an absolutely cracking qualifying session, so let's get ourselves into Q1. I'm just going to double check the expected strategy to see whether we need to save any soft tyres. It doesn't look like we're going to need to, if I'm honest. I think it is going to be a simple medium hard race, or at least medium hard if we want to be a little bit more attacking. There's lots of overtaking opportunities around here, so we'll definitely bear that in mind. But let's get ourselves into Q1, simulate that, and see how we get on. 3rd and 6th, very, very strong indeed. But it could rain at any given moment. So let's get ourselves into Q2, and we'll simulate that. And we are through 1st and 3rd, but look at who's going out in Q2. Charles Leclerc and Lewis Hamilton both out, Lando Norris out as well. And what a top 10 we've been left with for the final shootout. Is it going to be raining? Apparently not, but you've got to say it's a bit surprising. We have got 2 brand new sets of soft tyres. It looks like we have dipped into an intermediate set, so we can really go for it in Q3 then. Yeah, let's go for it. We are going to actually keep a set of new tyres back, and we're just going to go for the one run. So let's get into it. I'm all over the place here because I'm not sure what's going to happen with the weather. It looks like it's going to be fine.
Already checked, okay.
We said heavy rain. I mean, perhaps that was in practice, but I don't know. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see this top 10 here. Must have started raining fairly soon into qualifying. We had a 1:12 there, 1:10.6 from Perez. Magnussen went second there. Verstappen currently second, then Vettel, Magnussen, Bottas, Russell, Ocon. Carlos Sainz comes through, he goes third. But it's pretty close between the top 5. But you would imagine the track is going to be at its best in the very near future. Who's going to be quicker? I think Pierre Gasly has been slightly quicker in the practice sessions, so we'll give priority to Pierre. We'll put Alonso out there first, and then Pierre Gasly can follow not too distant behind. And we'll watch Fernando Alonso, the world champion and the world championship leader, of course. Let's see what he can pull off here. This is going to be a very, very important qualifying session to see exactly where this car is. You know, where are we going to stack up compared to the likes of Red Bull and Ferrari? We come through the first sector, only green at the moment. If we compare our times, we're 2/10 off the quickest time, which was Sergio Perez. He's going even quicker now. And Pierre Gasly matches Fernando Alonso. Verstappen goes quickest. What about Vettel? He does improve, but doesn't improve position. Russell comes up to the line, and Russell pops up to 5th. Here comes Sainz. He's over the line. Improves, but doesn't improve position. Here comes Sergio Perez. Can he knock his teammate off his perch? He comes over the line. He does take pole position. What about Bottas? Bottas comes through. He's 7th. Magnussen goes 4th. What a qualifying for him again. Fernando Alonso, the championship leader, he's going to come up to the line. He goes past the wall of champions. He comes up to the finish line, and it's a 1:10.8, which is only 7th. What about Gasly? Pierre Gasly comes up to the line now. What can he do? It's a 1:10.8 as well, and he goes 8th. Oh my word. Wow. Only 7th and 8th for our two drivers. We couldn't have set up the car much better, but that was just not good enough. But Fernando Alonso slightly outqualifies his teammate, and, well, are we already losing that development race? Sergio Perez is on pole position, leading a Red Bull 1-2, and they are 3/10 clear of Carlos Sainz in second. I guess we are kind of where we were a few races ago, where there's a 10th between Ferrari, Haas, Alpine, Mercedes, Aston Martin. But what a 3rd to 6th that is. And only a few hundredths of a second between them. But what a race we're in store for.
The time has come to fight it out. It's race day.
Aston Martin were on target for qualifying. Now it's up to them to defy expectations for the race itself. It was a pleasure to watch Red Bull's excellent performance during qualifying. Their drivers will now be looking ahead to the race itself and hoping to capitalize. And the clouds today look very ominous, which means that teams may have to contend with rain at some point during the race.
And each team will be hoping that fortune is on their side. So bon chance to them and their drivers for this Canadian Grand Prix.
Right then, let's get ourselves into it. When is the rain going to come? So it looks like mid-race we are going to get some pretty poor conditions, and maybe the inters will take us to the end. But then you look at this little period here where it could be dry. So if you jump onto the slick tyres around about here, you could really get yourself back into the race, or you could lose yourself the race. It's going to be interesting. I think we want to start on the hard tyres, in fact. So we're going to start on the hard tyres. We're going to go a long way into the race and hope and pray, perhaps, that we can get onto the intermediate tyres straight away. I think that's what we're looking for, really. Yeah, so I think we're going to start on the hards. I think we're going to do it with both drivers. I don't think we've got pace to win this race on pure speed. So I think we're going to have to try and be a little bit more strategical with our options and try and get all the way to the intermediate weather. But the question is that going to be wet weather tyres, or are intermediates just about going to survive for enough laps? It's going to be intense, it really is. I think we're going to have to push it a little bit more on the fuel. We certainly do not want to run out of fuel towards the end of the Grand Prix. But, yeah. Here we go. I think we're ready and raring to go here. Let's go for it.
It's a bit of a cloudy day for the race, but the atmosphere, as ever, is electric. Looking at Fernando Alonso here. Not as close to the front as they might have wished for, but we know the race order can change a lot during those first few corners. Next for the team, it's Pierre Gasly. They're in the front half of the pack, so there's plenty of potential for them. Everything's been building to this. The drivers are ready and raring to go. It's the Canadian Grand Prix. It's lights out.
Lights out, away we go then. And Perez off to a very good start on those medium tyres. Max Verstappen starting on the softs. He's looking for a quick start today. And it looks like Gasly's lost a position to Valtteri Bottas. Could well be on the verge of losing a position to Ocon as well. But manages to stay in front. Fernando Alonso still in 7th place, but it's Perez leading the way. Max Verstappen already having a little look though round the outside. This is going to be close between the 2 Red Bull drivers. And well, there you go. Max Verstappen is through and up into 2nd place. Kevin Magnussen is following them through in 3rd. What a start for K-Mag. George Russell is in 4th, and he's just in front of Carlos Sainz in 5th. Is Magnussen on the soft tyres? That's what I'd like to see here. But Fernando Alonso already having a little look. Yes, Magnussen on the softs, then Russell on the mediums. Sainz is next, followed by Vettel, although Fernando Alonso is going to have a little look here.
This is awesome work, come on.
And he might well have a little look at Carlos Sainz as well here. This could be a little
Looks like Aston Martin have
chance
just
for
gained
Fernando,
the race position.
as Pierre Gasly has now got Sebastian Vettel in his sights. Fernando Alonso, meanwhile, pulls to the inside. Is he going to have a little look? No, he's not. So I think now is the time to go back to neutral. And Pierre Gasly, the same. And I think we need to try and stick with this group as much as possible. But remember, in theory, we're going to do 1 less pit stop. If that rain comes as we're expecting, we're going to do 1 less pit stop than those guys, at least. But if we look at tyres, you can see Max Verstappen on softs, Magnussen on softs as well. Is Magnussen going to have a chance on Perez here? He might well do, because those soft tyres are definitely going to be the ones to be on. Remember, we've got a brand new set of softs in the bank as well, if needed in this Grand Prix. There's Kevin Magnussen. You can see him closing in very slowly on Sergio Perez, who's kind of being shafted with a strategy here, a little bit, but then should come into the fore a little bit later on. Is Magnussen going to have a look? That was very, very interesting. Then we got Russell in P4, Carlos Sainz P5, and then Fernando Alonso in P6. And still doing a very, very good job out front, and he's holding up Sebastian Vettel a treat here. Question is, can Fernando Alonso stay within DRS range of Carlos Sainz in 5th place? It's Kevin Magnussen. Look at him, he's absolutely hounding the back of that Red Bull. He's now prioritising a bit of a good exit here. Oh, there's slow cars. Not really sure what happened there. But now Sainz may well be, yep, he is more than a second behind the car in front, so we're using DRS to hopefully close in a little bit on Carlos. Yeah, I think we need to deploy. This is a chance to catch up to Sainz here. Closing in a little bit, but not by much, as Sergio Perez has took the lead of the Grand Prix again. But Max Verstappen is going to have a look at his teammate. This is going to be an exciting little battle. DRS straight, not long enough. Back to neutral now. He's got back into the DRS zone, and well, Gasly's lost out to
Alpine just advanced
to Ocon. He should be able to have another look here. Down the straight, no DRS for Ocon, DRS for Gasly. There's DRS for Valtteri Bottas as well. I think Bottas is going to get us here. Bottas goes around the outside. Gasly's holding it in there. Ho ho! He was all the way up to the wall. Fastest lap for Fernando Alonso so far. Very, very good. But there you go. Bottas gets past both Ocon and Gasly. Gasly down to 10th place now.
With a great overtake.
And we have got yellow flags in Sector 1. Somebody's locked up, I think. It was Antonio Giovinazzi.
Yeah, copy me.
Very interesting. Right. Now, can Fernando Alonso make a little move on George Russell here? As Carlos Sainz starts to get into the action of this Grand Prix. Fernando Alonso sticking with them as it stands. Pierre Gasly needs to stay in this DRS train now and not fall too far behind. So, time to zoom it on a little bit, I think. As we've got Lewis Hamilton behind Pierre Gasly and Fernando Alonso right behind Lewis Hamilton's teammate George Russell. But DRS trains have been established. And we now have Kevin Magnussen potentially taking the lead of the Grand Prix. And what a performance from the Dane. He is
Aston Martin with a
in the
great
form of
play
its
there.
life at the
They've
moment.
moved up a place.
And somebody has crashed.
What a big accident.
And perhaps
Let's
it was
take a
Esteban
closer look.
Ocon. What has happened here?
So there we have the Alpine. Oh, and there's the lockup. That's the last thing they'll have wanted.
I don't think he's crashed though. So
That's
somebody
going
has
to be a
crashed.
big blow to the team.
Not entirely sure what's happened, but Gasly, he's in a lot of trouble here.
We've had a crash.
It was Ocon.
Let's see
He's
what
crashed at
happened
turn
then.
10.
Okay, so there we have the Alpine.
So what's he done? Oh well. So Ocon has made a big mistake. I don't think he needs to come in. But that is a little bit ridiculous. But Lewis Hamilton now right in with the chance of getting past Gasly. It's whether Gasly can use some deployment and get back up, but Hamilton's going to have DRS here. Gasly
Checo behind, same lap time.
in trouble.
Mercedes moved up a place.
So Lewis Hamilton now passed. And that's Charles Leclerc having a little look as well. Nicely defended from Pierre.
Simply lovely.
And now he's going to have a little look at getting back past Lewis Hamilton. DRS enabled.
Looks like Aston Martin have just gained a race
And this looks
position.
exactly like what you want. You want to be following Hamilton through past the wall of champions, DRS enabled, and should be able to go around the outside here. So Pierre Gasly is going to take the position back. So 8th position back in this Grand Prix. We're going to deploy his ERS, try and catch him up to the group in front if we can. As Fernando Alonso now battling with Seb Vettel. And Vettel might have a bit of a run on him here down the inside. Alonso maintains the outside line. Oh, and he's holding Vettel out to dry, and that is very, very good from him. Gasly, meanwhile, closing in on this group nicely. 1.6 seconds behind. Of course, deploying that ERS and bringing these guys into the battle. That's the plan anyway. It's got nice and close to Sebastian Vettel here. Not within a second, I don't think, but very, very close to being. And he's got a bit of a gap on Lewis Hamilton, which is good. He's deploying that ARS very, very usefully. Can he defend from Lewis Hamilton here? He needs to stay in front if this is to work. Oh, Hamilton is through. DRS just too powerful. Down that straight. So now then Gasly back down to neutral and hope that Hamilton can continue his momentum and get to within a second of Sebastian Vettel.
Gained for Mercedes.
1.2 the gap, so now I think Gasly needs to Use ERS, try and get past Lewis Hamilton here. No, not managed it. Oh, look at this from Gasly though. This is going to be a chance for Gasly. And he is through. Now he's going to have
It's a good stint so far.
ERS out of the final corner.
We are out of DRS.
Copy.
Can he get within a second? That's going to be the big question here. Because if he can, it brings us right back into the race. Oh, he's more than a second ahead of Lewis now. That's going to help. Well, look at this. I think Gasly's going to be within a second here. Oh, just not quite in the DRS zone. What a shame. Charles Leclerc through now, and I don't think Gasly's going to be able to catch up, so it is quite close, this Grand Prix. Max Verstappen leading the way, and the top three are very much pulling away at the moment, so it might not matter that we're a pit stop ahead. Come the end of all of this.
Ferrari just gained a place.
Kevin Magnussen back into the lead of this Grand Prix. And Alonso
Aston
currently in
Martin
sixth.
with a great play there. They've moved up a place.
You feel like if Alonso was to unleash, he would have a bit more pace than Russell and Sainz, but I don't see the value in doing that at the moment.
Ferrari advance the race position.
But then again, let's hop on board with him, because he is going to have a chance here to do exactly that. So Fernando Alonso now ahead of Carlos Sainz. I'm going to use a bit of ERS and we're going to attack the tyres a little bit. And see if we can get him
Looks like Aston Martin
up towards the
have
battle
just gained a race
in front.
position.
Yeah, copy. Temps are climbing. Temps are now climbing. Copy.
And that just gets him out of that DRS train. As Pierre Gasly drops out of the top 10 now. And you can see how much time Alonso has made already here.
That is fastest lap.
So fastest lap of the Grand Prix so far for Fernando Alonso, 1:16.2. Tell you what, he's not far away from catching up to Verstappen and co. So we'll keep them attacking for a few laps. We're going to harvest with Gasly.
Recharge on.
And that's Daniel Ricciardo sticking with him for the moment.
Looks like that was a position gained for Alfa Romeo. They've locked up and gone straight on.
Oh, now Fernando Alonso is catching up, and there goes Kevin Magnussen into the pits. So Fernando up to third now. I think now we're just dropping the pace a little bit. Kevin Magnussen still in the pits here. He drops all the way to behind Norris. That's interesting. As Ricciardo currently leading this little battle. Here we go then. This is where Pierre Gasly should come in, really.
Okay, recharge off.
Good.
So Alonso. Yeah, Verstappen now in. So Alonso up to second. Yeah, Verstappen has dropped behind Magnussen here. That is Kevin Magnussen. And he is through. Oh, well. And Magnussen, what tyres did he go on to? Sorry, that's Mick Schumacher. Where is Kevin Magnussen's well down? What on earth? Oh, I guess he's been stuck in that traffic. Unbelievable, really. Now, 21 laps into this Grand Prix. And still a long way to go just yet. I think Gasly might be due a little attacking spurt, but I do think Ricciardo will probably be coming in. Maybe not this lap, but next lap. Here we go. Can Gasly get past both of them here? This is a good chance for Gasly, and he is through. What a move. 2 positions gained there. That was quite fantastic.
You're looking good at the moment.
And now, catching up to the back of Charles Leclerc.
Aston Martin took a chance, and it's paid off.
I think we're going to now do the attacking with Gasly. Try and get him up to the back of Charles here. Because this is now the phase of the Grand Prix where we need to take advantage of the fact that we didn't have to come into the pits. So Pierre Gasly's got a chance here on Leclerc. He's going to deploy his ERS. He's absolutely going for it here. Somebody's locked up. Behind, I think it was potentially Max. No, it was Mick Schumacher actually. Just looking at how far Verstappen was behind. But here we go again with Pierre. Is that going to be fastest lap? Not quite.
Keep at it.
So he's now up to 6th position. Get out of the 1 second window
Aston
to
Martin with a great play there. They've moved
to
up a
Leclerc.
place.
All is going to be good. It's Fernando Alonso in 2nd position, managing to stick ahead of Sebastian Vettel for now. Vettel is slightly catching up, but his tyres are going to run out reasonably soon. So it's Sergio Perez leading this race, followed by Alonso, and then Vettel is currently 3rd with Sainz 4th, Russell in 5th. Gasly has managed to pull out a decent gap to Leclerc behind in 6th. Then we've got Leclerc in 7th, then Hamilton 8th, Ricciardo 9th, and Max Verstappen in P10. Now, is Ricciardo going to come into the pits? No. And I think that's wise. He's staying with them in that DRS train for now. Now Alonso. So less than a second ahead of Russell. So Russell now passes him for the lead. So Alonso back into this little train.
Race position gained for a Mercedes.
So rain is imminent.
And we're reckoning that the rain is coming fairly soon. And now we're predicting that it's not going to drop as drastically as we thought. So let's have a little look at this.
Awesome job, mate.
Okay. Right, so we've still got this little period towards the end of the race.
Aston Martin have just gained a race position.
Fernando back past Russell again. Gasly still catching up to these folks. We're going to have to go back down to standard now.
Just look after this tyre set though. Look after it.
Okay.
He's going to struggle to catch up to the back of those guys. So, a very exciting Grand Prix here, and we're only 27 laps into it. We think within the next 10 laps or so, we're going to get that wet weather.
Just gained a place.
We've got Gasly in a little bit of no man's land, which is fine. Ricciardo is doing a terrific job up in 7th place, but on very old soft tyres now. And, well, is he going to try and go all the way to the wet weather? So now... rain started.
Rain is just starting. Copy.
So Fernando Alonso, we're going to bring him into the pits. We're going to risk this here. We're going to go on to intermediate tyres. We're going to pit this lap. We're going to do the same with Pierre Gasly.
Box.
I don't think we're going to need the wets,
Okay,
but
box.
I might be wrong. I might be wrong.
So box and confirm.
So Fernando Alonso is in on the intermediate tyres, as is Pierre Gasly. We are double stacking our drivers.
Yeah, in the box.
Yep, okay.
Absolutely hoping for the best here. He's away. Gasly comes into the box, and that is a slick operation. That was brilliant. What a brilliant double stack that was. And now we're back out there on those inters. Fernando out, back into the points. Gasly coming out of the pit lane now. Not too far behind, really. And other people are coming into the pits. The likes of Magnussen is in. What's he gone on to? Intermediate tyres. Norris on inters. Albon on inters. Looks like Hülkenberg's on inters as well, as is Ocon. So I think we've made the right choice. It's all now going to be about trying to bring these tyres in. We're going to go to
Lift off.
balanced on the fuel.
Copy.
I feel like DRS is not going to be a thing. Alonso's already at the back of Charles Leclerc here. We're going to have to tell him to drive in clear air. Try and get past him. Yep, so Alonso's through. Oh, it was the wrong driver anyway. But yeah, Gasly's through now, and here goes Fernando Alonso, and we have got yellow flags.
You're through.
And what's happened here? I'm not sure, but Fernando Alonso,
On the track.
he's come through and he's ahead of Carlos Sainz. We've still got people out there on medium tyres. Surely that is too risky. Perez is surely throwing away this Grand Prix here.
Leclerc in the pit lane now.
Gasly now up to 6th. He's chasing after Carlos Sainz. And ahead of Max Verstappen. A long, long way ahead of Max Verstappen. So this has completely changed the order, and that's what I thought might happen, and it's come a lot earlier than we perhaps thought. And Perez really struggling out there now. Alonso not actually that far behind on track. So here we go.
Perez in the pit lane.
And there you go. Fernando Alonso takes the lead of the Grand Prix. Perez only leaving now. Alonso a long, long way in front. What about Gasly? Can he come past Perez as well? This would be huge if he could. He comes round turn 1, and there's Perez there. So Gasly, what a gain he's made. That is unbelievable. Honestly, I think this is one of the best races of the season now, because this is going to be an absolute cracker of a Grand Prix to the end, because we do think there's some heavier rain coming. Are we going to have to switch to those wet tyres? Potentially we are. If this is the levels of water and they think that that's 2 millimeters, that is looking a lot worse. So we may have to move to the wet weather tyres later on. But Fernando Alonso, championship leader, absolutely smashing it out there. Now, Perez has got past Pierre Gasly, but Gasly's going to come back at him here, I think.
Is that a lockup?
And it was Kevin Magnussen that locked up. He was having an awesome race, was in contention for a victory, had a very slow pit stop,
Red Bull moved up.
and now finds himself down in 13th place. But look at this. Side by side as they come down the main straight. Can Pierre Gasly make the move? We're going to deploy a bit of ERS here. And he's going to go down the inside. Oh, this is close. Turns into the outside line, of course, round turn 1. But he's still sticking it in there. He's still using a little bit of ERS. He flies round the outside and now down the inside. But Perez is still there. Unbelievable racing between these two.
It's a good stint so far.
And now Pierre Gasly has the inside. He has the advantage and he is through. And Gasly back up into 3rd place. But it looks like he's going to be in a very big battle with Sergio Perez, because Perez was the quickest man on Saturday. He's in the quickest car at the moment. But now he's back into the clutches of the gearbox of Pierre Gasly. Wow. Fernando Alonso still leading the way. And he's 3.3 ahead of Carlos Sainz in P2. Here's Sainz catching up. I think he is slowly but surely. Perez starting to close in on Gasly. Might struggle to get past him now. There's Max Verstappen there in P5. And then George Russell P6. Lewis Hamilton has done well to get up to P7. Daniel Ricciardo still in P8. What an awesome stint he did on his soft tyres to put himself into this position. Leclerc in 9th, and then Vettel P10. People ladder out of position. Ocon a long way down. Kevin Magnussen, of course, out of position. And the McLaren of Lando Norris could maybe be doing a little bit better. But overall, things are looking very good for a lot of drivers out there. And, well, let's see what transpires of this. I do think Gasly is going to lose out to Perez at some point, and there you go, Perez does go down the inside, and maybe we just need to try and keep Gasly in the running and keep him close to Perez rather than battling too hard and allowing Max Verstappen to catch up, because we seem to have fourth lockdown at the very least for Gasly. Fernando Alonso being reeled in slightly by Carlos, but not by much. Well, this is just going to be crazy, isn't it? I think that rain is going to get heavier, and you can see that rain getting heavier now. But how much heavier is it going to get? And how long is that rain going to stay here for? I'm not sure. Is it worth risking Pierre Gasly here onto the wet tyres? Let's do it. Oh no. Is it worth? Yeah, I think it is worth it, because it's going to get more than 4. With Alonso, I don't see it being worth the risk. Because he can come in the next lap and not lose too much if we find that Gasly is much quicker. Is it going to rain heavy enough? Is it going to rain heavy enough? Surely it is. I think there's going to be a period of this Grand Prix that we're going to be on the wet weathers. We're actually going to delay it a lap. We're going to delay it a lap. Because the rain hasn't come down quite as much as we thought over the last lap. So we're going to delay it. What was good about making the call so early in the lap, we were able to reevaluate it. It is slowly getting worse again, but I think it's going to be another delay by a lap, because we're not quite over 4 just yet. We've got Gasly ready in case he wants to come in. And now it is going to be this lap. And Fernando can come in this lap as well. So let's go.
Box.
And it might have helped Pierre.
Okay, copy, box.
Had he come in last lap. How long is it going to stay like this? I mean, it does seem to want to get worse. And surely they're just going to be so much quicker than the intermediate tyre runners. If Fernando Alonso's going to come in.
Copy.
This is huge, and the Ferrari stays out, the Red Bull stays out, so this could be a big mistake. It could be, but looking at the amount of water on track, I don't see how it can be. Here comes Gasly, and again it's going to be a perfectly executed double stack. And Fernando Alonso, where is he going to come out here? Yeah, other people are in the pits as well, and Alonso comes out in 4th place. Gasly, I think, perhaps needs to attack a little bit here. Yeah, and you can see straight away the extra grip that he's got over the likes of Charles Leclerc there.
Fantastic work.
So we've absolutely nailed it on the strategy again.
Looks like Aston Martin have just gained a race
Fernando
position.
Alonso, look how much time he's already made up on Carlos Sainz, the leader. I can see why they stayed out. But it's just too wet out there for intermediate tyres. And there you go with Gasly. He's through as well, so back up to 5th place.
Okay, well done.
That's whether Gasly's going to do enough to get past Sainz. And wow, Alonso's already caught up to the back of Max Verstappen here. Is Sainz going to come in? Is he going to come in here? Let's see. No, Sainz is staying out, as is Perez. Is Verstappen going to stay out? He is. Wow.
Really well executed.
So they're champion in track position. This could really, really cost them. But this is very, very exciting, isn't it? Look how quickly Alonso's caught up to Perez. They are very much on the wrong tyres. I suppose had they come in, they're just consigning themselves to 2nd and 3rd position anyway. Is Gasly going to be able to catch up to them? Maybe not. Will be interesting to see if Sainz comes in this lap. Because here comes Fernando Alonso. He's going to be having a look at Sergio Perez down the inside here. He's going to be able to brake later, and he does exactly that. That is brilliant from Fernando Alonso.
This garage has just gone mental.
And this is just a terrific, terrific Grand Prix so far. And Fernando Alonso up into 2nd position. This is just unbelievable. But look at the amount of water on track. It's getting lower now. And that's going to bring others into the picture again. Well, well, well. I don't think it's going to get any heavier, so I think we need to get in and get onto the inters again. So maybe we've messed up here. Can we attack on these tyres? Can that help?
Just keep the pressure on. You can do this.
Copy.
If we absolutely attack on these tyres, will that keep us in touch? Because they should last a long time. Let's see, is Fernando going to be able to stay with Carlos Sainz?
And think about less lifting coast.
Okay.
I don't think so.
So focus on just bringing your tyre temperatures back under control for the moment.
Okay. I think we might bring Gasly in. But too late. Too late.
So box and pit confirm. Box, pit confirm.
I'm not sure there's going to be heavier rain coming again, so... yeah.
Box,
We've
box.
now basically lost that pit stop
Okay, box.
that we gained from the hard tyres. I think we're going to have to double stack it again because I don't think Alonso's going to be able to stay with these guys as well as we thought. So Alonso's in, Gasly's in, and we're just going to have to grin and bear it and hope for the best here that Fernando Alonso is able to push to his limit.
We do not require any fuel liftoff.
And get past Daniel Ricciardo. And what we've not done is put a new set on. That was a bit of a mistake. Tell Fernando to drive in clear air here. But Alonso in 5th, Pierre Gasly in 9th. I was all smug. I thought we'd absolutely nailed it because I thought they would come into the pits. But they didn't. They braved it out. I guess that shows the AI are getting more intelligent out there. Lewis Hamilton staying out on the wets. That's a bold move. Alonso, I think, is going to struggle to get past Ricciardo here. Oh, he's passed now. So how quickly can Fernando close this gap? And Pierre's going to have to deploy a bit of ERS here. He's trying his best, but not managing it.
And recharge on. Positive on dash. Recharge on.
Okay.
I think Fernando might well be able to push this and get back through, but
So we are low on battery at the moment.
Copy.
let's see what Gasly can do now. He's dropped back 3 seconds, but
So whenever you're ready, then it would just be
We'll
recharge off. Recharge off.
Okay.
so can Fernando continue to close this gap? That's a big question here.
Come on, mate.
Yeah, copy.
See, Alonso is closing in very quickly on Verstappen, but I don't think closing in enough.
Sounds like someone's locked up.
Oh, somebody's crashed. Safety car is out. Well, that has changed everything. That has changed everything.
Safety car deployed. Safety car deployed.
Let's get everything harvested.
Eyes on dash.
Copy.
Now, where's Gasly? Okay. Now, is there going to be a new round of pit stops to get new sets of intermediates on?
Got a car stopped on track.
I don't know. Ocon's in, but he has a penalty. We'll have enough time to react. Just about. Top 3 are staying out. So let's get everybody bunched up.
So safety car is going to be in this lap.
Let's end in this lap.
Copy.
Let's push high on the fuel. Let's deploy ARS as much as we can. Let's get ready to rock and roll here. We have got a lapped car in the middle of us. Should get out of the way pretty quickly. But this is going to be an interesting end to the Grand Prix here. Because I have no idea who's going to come out on top.
Safety car in.
Copy.
So Carlos Sainz is leading the way. His tyres, Verstappen's tyres, Perez's tyres, they're all pretty good. Now, Ocon gets out of the way nicely for Fernando Alonso. Alonso should be able to make his way through here. And he does exactly that. Now, how close can Alonso stay to this battle for the lead? That's the question. Meanwhile, Pierre Gasly, he's having a little look down the inside of Zhou Guanyu. And I think he's through. Very, very good. There's Ocon getting out of the way of those guys. His race has been completely ruined, hasn't it? And Fernando Alonso is past. Look at this. Fernando Alonso may well be taking second place here. Whoa, that is crazy. I didn't expect this as a start for Fernando Alonso. He's up to second already, and he's having a little look at Carlos Sainz here. Now I think he's going to have to drop back to standard on the tyres, but we'll do that once we're into the lead. If we can make it there. Now Pierre Gasly having a little look at Kevin Magnussen. Here goes Fernando.
You're looking good at the moment.
Is he going to go down the outside? He is having a little look. Fernando Alonso fancies another race victory. And he is round the inside of Sainz, and that is brilliant from him.
Such an awesome job, mate.
And Fernando Alonso now leads this Canadian Grand Prix. We're going to drop back to aggressive. We do not want those tyres to run out, though. As soon as they go below 50%, the other guys are going to catch us up. And Pierre Gasly now having a little look at Sebastian Vettel. That safety car could and probably will change how this race would have ended for us. Here we go then with Pierre Gasly. Is he going to have a good look here? Not quite. Not quite. We've got 10 laps to go. Essentially 12 minutes to change the outcome of this race. Pierre Gasly's having a little look. He's ran out of ARS deployment. We're going to go neutral on that. Let's see, can he go down the inside here of Sebastian? He's going to have a look. Risky with a wall of champions, but backs out of it, I think, wisely there. Fernando Alonso still leads, and he's pulling out a gap on Carlos Sainz behind. So let's zoom it forward a little bit. Let's see if Alonso can pull out that gap. As Lance Stroll, I think, has made a mistake. Yeah, now then. I think Gasly's going to have to go for it again here. So he's right behind the Alpine of Fernando Alonso. Well, he has lost all of his ARS deployment now. I think Alonso has to go balance. I don't think that petrol is going to last to the end of the race.
Okay.
Now, do we harvest with Gasly for the next couple of laps?
Recharge on.
Perhaps we do. Fernando's still pushing hard at the head of the pack. Very, very good job. Nitro, we need to catch up.
And it'll just be recharge off whenever you're ready.
Needs to catch up to Vettel. Once he has caught up to Vettel, then we can unleash the charge. I think 6th, possibly 5th is going to be the maximum today for Pierre Gasly. But Fernando Alonso still leading the race, still staying in front of Carlos Sainz now. Max Verstappen is hounding the back of Sainz's car. Is Verstappen going to chase down Fernando Alonso for the 2nd race in a row? That's where we could be at. So we're going to have 2 laps to go here.
2 laps remaining.
And we're going to deploy the ERS with Pierre Gasly for those 2 laps. Fernando Alonso's got a 3-second lead. He's looking like he's going to run towards his 7th race win of the season out of 9. And he is running away with this World Championship. He is doing a terrific job. But can Pierre Gasly close in on Sebastian Vettel? Oh, this is going to be so close. He's going to be using his ERS. Here we go then. Pierre Gasly pulls to the inside. Is he going to have a chance at Sebastian Vettel here? I think he will do. He goes down the inside. Oh, well, he has to back out of it, and that might be the end of that one. Don't know if he's going to be able to get close enough again. Here. And Sebastian Vettel now having a look at Charles Leclerc. Well. Fernando Alonso, meanwhile, still 3.5 seconds ahead of Carlos Sainz. He is going to pick up his 7th victory of the season unless he makes a mistake now. Can Pierre Gasly have a look at Charles Leclerc? He goes down the inside but doesn't manage it. Somebody's locked up, and I think it's Vettel potentially.
We just got 1
I don't
lap
know,
remaining.
but 1 more lap, and it was Vettel that locked up there. As Fernando Alonso leading the way, he's doing a terrific job.
Looks like Aston Martin.
As
have just gained
Gasly
race
now up to
position.
7th place. He's going to have a look round the outside of Charles Leclerc. Oh, this is going to be a chance. And he's through. I think Gasly's through. Now, can he get up to
Good stint
5th?
so far.
Can he get up to 5th? And remember, we started 7th and 8th in this race. And we went for the alternate
Aston
strategy.
Martin with a great play there. They've moved up
We
a
could have had a
race.
1-2 potentially. But Gasly goes down the inside. Oh, he nearly managed it on Ricciardo. Can he get 5th place at the end of this race? It's going to be so close. But Fernando Alonso, he is still pulling out a gap to the cars behind. He's got enough fuel now to take him over the line and pick up his 7th victory of the season. I don't think Gasly's going to manage to get Ricciardo. In fact, he's going to be defending from Charles Leclerc, so Ricciardo's going to finish 5th. But here comes Fernando Alonso over the line, and he wins
So we have
again
checkered flag now.
the Canadian Grand Prix. Sainz finishes 2nd, Perez 3rd, Verstappen 4th, Daniel Ricciardo is going to finish 5th, and there goes Pierre Gasly over the line in P6. Brilliant stuff
Okay, that's a checkered
from
flag.
both drivers to maximise the result today.
Yeah, we'll take it, mate. Fail 84, please, mate. Fail 84.
And a good job from Gasly to get back through the field in that final stint there. But we had to push the car to its absolute limit. And it still wasn't really quick enough. But we did manage it with Fernando.
What a flawless weekend here from Fernando Alonso. His team must be proud. Everyone involved in Formula One dreams of seeing their driver up there on the podium. And the talented veteran rounds off another great drive, adding to his impressive F1 podium tally. But there we have all three drivers that are taking home the silverware, along with the most valuable points. Aston Martin, having an extremely good day at the track.
This was an extremely convincing race for them. They're one impressive team, and they deserve to celebrate this properly.
After an intense weekend, the team ends in first place in the constructor standings.
For the next round, we're heading back to the heart of the UK. Get ready for a race to remember in Silverstone, the cradle of Formula One.
Brilliant. Can't wait for Silverstone, actually. I think it's going to be a cracking race. We've had some awesome races this season. Fernando Alonso, seemingly, as always, wins the race with the fastest lap as well. So maximum points for him from this Grand Prix. Carlos Sainz finishes second with Perez in third. Max Verstappen finishes fourth in the end, and he was chasing down Alonso at one point for the victory. Daniel Ricciardo finishes 5th for Alfa Romeo with Gasly in 6th, Leclerc 7th, Vettel 8th, Magnussen 9th, and George Russell in P10. Into the Drivers' Championship then, Fernando Alonso now 47 points ahead. You know, if it wasn't for that race in Imola, where he finished outside of the points, I'd dread to see what his statistics would be this season. He has been unbelievable. We had a strategy mistake in Jeddah that meant he didn't win the Grand Prix, but he could have won 9 out of 9 this season. He really could have, but he kept making mistakes in Imola, and that's been the difference. But he's nearly, acing it this season. 7 out of 9 race victories, 5 fastest laps and 2 pole positions. Pierre Gasly, meanwhile, still yet to get off the mark in that department. Into the constructors then, and we are 76 points ahead of Red Bull at this stage. We've got Ferrari in P3 and Mercedes hit the 100 mark, and Alpine not far behind them. So Pierre Gasly, no development points for him. 1 in the bag for Fernando Alonso. None for Oscar Piastri this time out. But 6 million in profit made this weekend. That is really quite special. But what an awesome Grand Prix once again. And heading on to Silverstone in the next race. That is, I think, going to be another cracker. So we've got our front wing design coming through. So perhaps we can catch up a little bit, because I do think our car is struggling a little bit compared to the competition. None of our parts are the best. Hopefully with our front wing, that will change and we'll be back on top in the next Grand Prix. So if you have enjoyed it, give it a big thumbs up down below. Subscribe for plenty more F1 Manager content. And I hope you guys are having a wonderful day. Thanks for watching, and goodbye.